Welcome to Transworld's 20 Tricks. I'm John Lazareski. I'll be your host for this afternoon.
Hey, what's up? This is Dan Breezy. We're here in Salt Lake City. I'm gonna show you how to do a gap to board slide on this amazing feature right here.
Got to figure out a way to get speed. We use the ramp. You can use a bungee or have your friends pull you in.
Hey, what's up guys? You're here with Eric Willett. We're here at my home mountain of Breckenridge, Colorado, doing Transworld 20 Tricks.
You want to do your shifty late, so you don't do something like that, or like that.
To catch a nose press, you're going to kind of catch it on the inside of a round bar. And then by the time you're off the rail, you're going to roll it up.
Hey, I'm Marco Grills. We're here at Winter Park, Colorado, and I'm about to show you how to do a switch frontside rodeo 5.
Yeah, if you land on your toe edge and kind of ride out, it'll pop you up to your flat base and a right away straight.
Because I know you got this. You can do this. It's so easy. Do it.
Okay, how's it going? I'm Seth Hewitt. We're here in Salt Lake City at the Rail Gardens, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a backside nose press. I guess the biggest difference between like a park rail and a street rail is, you get on from the side just above the stairs. What we usually do is we just throw a board up, up on top, like level with the first stair, and then you just start filing in snow just so it makes a nice flat. It's a good backing to make like a nice flat, good little jump. So fortunately with this spot, we have natural speed, but usually in the streets, you're working with a drop-in ramp, bungees, winches, whatever. And on the approach, you want to come in at a slight angle to get on, and the main part is you're going to be, since it's backside, you're going to be popping off of your heels. So it's kind of a heel rock. I just line up with the end in mind. I like to go just a touch faster than a backside 50-50. So once you've got your ollie and your line dialed, to catch a nose press, you're going to kind of catch it on the inside of a round bar. And then by the time you're off the rail, you're going to roll it up. And this is the most important part of a nose press, is the catch and then the weight and keeping your tail lifted. When you're on the rail, you're obviously your weight's forward, your shoulders are square, you're looking at the end, and you're just mainly just concentrated on keeping that press up and keeping it clean and, not dipping it, not tapping it, and, just focusing on the end. By this point, the hard part is over, the catch, holding the press, the lock. And right now it's basically just looking at the end and just getting a good snap nollie out. And you just want to land, flat base, right out straight as possible, and just keep it together. My tip to the trick is your line. Just get it set up and make sure you're comfortable with it. Because when you have a line that you're comfortable with, it just makes the overall trick easier. Thanks for hanging out here with doing backside nose presses at the Rail Gardens. Be safe out there, watch out for cops, and be sure to clean up.
What's up guys? Sage Kotzenberg here at Breckenridge, Colorado, doing Transworld 20 trick tip, and I'm going to be doing frontside 360 stalefish. Have fun. So, doing frontside 360s. You don't need a huge jump, so just make sure you're comfortable with the jump you're coming into. Straight air it a couple times. As you can see my approach, you come in on your toes. Right about when you hit the bottom of the tranny, you want to switch over to the flat base. As you approach the top of the lip, you want to be starting to lean a little bit more on the heels, but just remember you don't need a ton of setup carve for this jump because you just need a little bit of whip, so don't be carving too much off of it. Once you get to the top of the lip, the very, very top, pop, and then start turning your board. Don't start turning your board beforehand. You can be catching edges going off like that. Leaves the bad stuff. Pop off your heels and start turning your upper body first, and then have your legs follow you in the air. And you want to start turning your head and start right away looking right underneath your shoulder. Once you do that, you're going to want to grab probably at 90 degrees. You want to reach down. I'm grabbing a sailfish, super easy grab to do. And about 270, you're going to be looking right here, grabbing, and you're able to see the knuckle and the whole landing all right here. So one of the most key things in the air is just keeping that head turned and looking underneath your shoulder so you can see the whole landing. When you come around, you can let go of your grab at about 270 and open up, set it down. You're going to want to land more flat base and a little bit toe heavy than heel heavy, because heel heavy you wash out super easy on any trick. So you want to be landing and just kind of leaning more, like bending down like this than trying to go like this to save on it. Start landing more on your toes. You're gonna have way more grip when you come out of it. You're gonna be landing 10 times more than you are if you land on your heel. Trick to the trick is just getting a solid takeoff, making sure you just get a nice pop. You can be floating in the air and getting frontside 3 really good. You don't want to be going pre-spinning. You don't want to be carving too much. You just want a nice solid takeoff, going up slightly on your heels and popping at the last second. All right, guys, that's the frontside 360 sailfish. Super sick, stylish trick. You know, you can do a bunch of different grabs with it. And it's basically the intro to every single frontside trick. Frontside 5s and 7s come really easily after it. So hope you enjoy front 3s and start styling those things out.
What up, it's Tim Humphreys here. We're in Breckenridge, Colorado. It's Transworld 20 tricks. And I'm gonna be teaching you guys the Cab 540 switch nose grab. Pretty easy, so let's get out here and stomp a few. Tricks that you wanna have on lockdown before you try a Cab 5 that'll really help out are Cab 3, that helps you out with the takeoff, spinning cab, and then a back 3 is good for helping you coming out of the Cab 5 and getting your feet under you. Before you even get to the jump or even think about dropping in, you want to approach the jump. You don't really want to go lined up dead center with it. You kind of want to go off to the side a little bit so you can make a little toe edge turn to kind of set yourself across the jump, and then make a heel edge turn right up the takeoff. You don't want to dig in too hard. You're going to want to stay low, have your hands kind of trailing you a little bit. You know, you don't need to do the biggest wind up to throw it ever, but you want to have you know, just nice squared up over your board, and you want to have your hands back here a little bit so you can initiate the turn once you get up to the takeoff. Taking off the lip of the jump for the Cab 5, it's pretty simple. You really don't have to throw it all that hard. Right around right here is right when you want to throw, like right when your switch nose is leaving the takeoff. That's when you want to start initiating the spin and pop and throw. And once you hit the end, you just wait, and then throw. You just initiate with your head and your shoulders a little bit, and then you just follow through with this arm. And that's really all there is to the initial throw. Right when you take off, you know, you throw it the whole first 180. You can see the knuckle. You know, you're pretty much staring straight at it, and then come around 180. Then when you're at 3, you go a little bit blind for the second 180. But then right when you come around 3, you can kind of see it, usually under your armpit or over your shoulder. And right when you get around to 360, that's when you're going to want to start thinking about putting the old landing gear down and stomping her. You come around, you start eyes on the landing, just constantly looking at it. You let go your grab, and you pull your front shoulder down as good as you can to get your feet under you. And then most of the time, if you threw it a little corked off the takeoff, usually it'll come right around, land pretty flat base. Sometimes when you go flat, usually you come around, you can just put your tail down first and ride out. But for the most part, you don't really land over your heels or your toes. You land mostly right over your board. The trick to the trick is you want to wait just a little bit for your grab. You just give it a little pause. You don't wait until you're landed to grab it. But you throw it. Think about throwing it and then grabbing it as two separate things. You don't throw it and then reach down for your grab, because that'll send you corked in the air, and more times than not, you have trouble getting back to your feet. So that was just the Cab 540 switch nose grab. It's one of my favorite tricks. Hope it's one of yours now.
Hey everybody, it's Nico Chaffee here in beautiful Winter Park, Colorado. I'm doing Transworld 20 tricks. I'm here to teach you a tail slide 270. Dropping in for this rail, you want to have enough speed to clear the gap to the flat rail, that's for sure. And you want to be on your toes coming in, and then slowly work your way to your heels, and you can basically land straight up with the rail for this trick. You don't have to be on either side. You could, but I like to do it straight on a setup like this. Once you actually take off the lip here, you're going to want to square up your shoulders, proper board slide basically, but right under the back binding to initiate the tail slide. At this point, you want to put a little weight in the back, so you got to press, get the nose up a little bit. So you're about to land on the rail. You square up, land on your back binding, try to get your nose up a little bit. You bend your back leg, straighten out the front so you can get a nice little press going. You're staring down to the end of the rail, and halfway through you'll start rotating your shoulders a little bit to initiate the 270 out. All right, so you're getting to the end of the rail. This is gonna be the hardest part of this trick. It's gonna be a little bit blind. You're gonna be turning your shoulders and your head at this point. You're gonna have to feel out the end of the rail. Give it some pop when you think you're there, and your head and shoulders will be turning, trying to look for your landing. Keep your legs where they are for the little shifty little style in there. And then after 270, if you spin it quickly, you'll see your landing. You'll want to land on your toe side edge and ride away. The trick to the trick is all about the press, the shoulders, and the head. You're gonna need a nice press to the end. Your shoulders need to be already turning. Your head will be looking for your landing, and you need a nice little pop, and it'll all come around nicely. That's the front tail 270 for you. Definitely practice on your smaller flat rails in your park and get your timing right. It's all about timing. I'm out. Nico Chaffee. Holla at your boy.
Yo, what's good? This is Cam Pierce. I'm here at Winter Park, Colorado for Transworld's 20 tricks, and I'm going to teach you how to do a front blunt 270 on a step up to flat rail. Alright, so when you're doing front blunt 270, you definitely want to test out your speed, maybe do a 50-50 or get into a couple front boards just to get comfortable with sliding front side on the rail. You want to come into it with moderate speed, nice weight on your toes. I'm goofy, so I like to approach the rail just a little bit to the right side so you get on your toes and jump over into the front blunt motion. So when you're taking off to do the front blunt, you can see that I like to come from the right side because you're going to have to jump over the rail so you can get in the front blunt motion. You just come up on your toes, pop, and start initiating the 90. And since you're doing the 270 out, you're gonna have to land blind, so you wanna turn your shoulders, trying to spot the rail under your arm, and you wanna catch the rail right at your back binding, right under your back foot. So you're gonna start turning and look to catch the rail right on your back binding. So when you're landing on the rail, you definitely wanna land in the front. It's not gonna be a front board, it's gonna be, you know, more of a front blunt. So you're gonna wanna catch the rail right behind your back binding, and you wanna keep it up. You want your tail to drop while you're grinding, you know. You wanna have a nice blunt. And you just catch the rail with your back foot. And as you're sliding, since you're gonna 270 out, you're gonna have to start looking around your back shoulder so you can start to initiate the turn out for the 270. All right, so once you made it to the end of the rail and you've been looking over your back shoulder the whole time to start popping the nice 270 out. So when you're ready to pop out, you know, just bend your knees, give it a nice pop off the end of the rail. And you turn your shoulders super hard because you want to make that 270 out. You're going to be able to spot your landing the whole time. And your board's just going to come around nicely. You want to land nice and flat base and right away clean. All right, so the trick to this trick is just when you get to the end of the rail, bend your knees and getting a real nice ollie pop off your tail so you can get that in last 270 around and make the landing nicely. All right, so that's the front blunt 270 out on a step up to flat rail. I hope it helped y'all learning the trick. It's real fun to do on all kinds of things. So, you know, just have a blast out there doing it.
Hey, what's up? This is Joe Sexton. We're here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today I'm going to try to show you how to do a frontside 50-50 on a street down flat down kink. Let's get it. Okay, so one of the main things you need to look at when you get to the spot is decide what you're going to do for speed. I mean, this is obviously really flat. There's no natural speed, so you got to figure out a way to get speed. We use the ramp. You can use a bungee or have your friends pull you in, but you just need to look at how far back you want it, and usually it's about 20 or 30 feet. But mainly, that's the main thing, is just picking your line and sticking to it. Once you get off in like about 5 feet from it, you're going to be going at your line, and then you'll know how it feels to eventually jump onto the rail. Now you're here and you're at the jump. You got your line, and a really important thing is to make sure you ollie, you get your nose over, and then snap up, get on the rail, and you'll also lock in way better, and you'll be a lot more comfortable on the rail instead of just like slamming down onto it. You want to kind of time it good so you're kind of just getting on it. So once you get on, you got a good ollie on, and right when you set it in, you kind of need to decide right then and there if you need to make an adjustment. If you got on and you're kind of on the inside, then you might need to roll it over a little bit to stay on top. So your knees at this point you're kind of bent because you're just getting on, and you're going to come to the first kink, and you're absorbing and you're kind of taking weight off and you're standing up on it, and then you're getting ready for the next down. All that's left to do is just get to the end of the rail. So I like to do a little, if I'm right here, I like to do a little hop, so it's like almost like you feel like you're just getting on a down bar, and you know how that feels. So you're off that and you're onto a down bar and you're off the end of the rail. Well, it's kind of like up here, you want to look at the first kink. As you get to the flat and you want to look at the last down, and you'll go right off the end. And all you're thinking about now is just the end of the rail. So you're on it. Your knees are kind of still, they're slightly bent because you're still on the rail, but you want to get right here to the end, and you want to lift up, and you want to just kind of continue that plane to flat. And it's going to be different because it's not a park rail, so it's a flat landing. It won't be downhill, so that you want to be ready for that, like knees bent, ready for kind of a harsher landing than you would expect, especially if it's kind of tall off the end. But yeah, then once you've done that, I would hope you know what to do from there, which is ride out and give your buddy a high five. So yeah, and even before you try the trick, just have an idea of kind of where your escape points are. Just know that the snow side is there, and it's way safer than concrete and stairs, you know? My trick to the trick, I guess, would be even though it's kind of frowned upon, I like to keep a rut in the jump. I feel like if you have a rut, it's kind of one spot, the jump gets harder, and also you kind of have a marker from where to take off. Like every time if you're taking off here, you know your heels are gonna be there, and if you didn't get on right, you'll go an inch or so over, and maybe you'll be able to do it. I don't know, it's just something that I've always done, and it's kind of worked for me, so I've just stuck with it. Okay, so hopefully that helped you learn the frontside 50-50 on a street kink. Have fun, be safe, clean up after you're done, and yeah, it's a fun trick. Watch videos, and it's open to creativity. There's a lot of things you can do out of the trick or into the trick, so the sky's the limit. So have fun. Peace.
What up, everybody? This is Scotty Arnold. I'm here at Winter Park, Colorado for the Transworld 20 Tricks video. And today I'm going to teach you frontside cork fives. All right, so step one is the approach. You're going to hit the jump a couple times, get your speed right, do some nice front threes, some front fives. And basically the approach on a front cork five is exactly the same as a frontside five. You're going to start to the left of the jump, and as you get in close, you're going to swoop in on your toes. And as you start to go up the lip, you're going to swoop back to flat base. And then as you get to the top, you're going to go onto your heel edge. And we're coming up the lip now, we're switching from our toes to flat base. And you're going to want to ride up the lip, flat base, and swoop to your heels right at the top. And as you get to the top of the lip, that's when you're gonna go right to your heels or pop off flat base. And the difference between a frontside five takeoff and a frontside cork takeoff, a frontside five, you're just gonna keep flat, keep your head flat and look over your shoulder that way, and you're not gonna cork. But for the cork five, basically, you're gonna lean back when you go off the takeoff and pop off your tail real hard. Take your front hand and drop it down, grab Indy, and put your head to your shoulder. And at that point, that'll throw you into the cork and you'll be able to see your landing. So at this point, you're grabbing Indy, your hand is down, you're getting corked, you can see your landing the whole time, spotting that landing. You're gonna spin around, coming around about 450 here. That's when you're gonna let go. And remember to not throw it harder than you would a normal front five, because the cork is going to give you a little momentum. As you come around 450, you're leaning forward and you're coming around to the 540 position. Weight is centered on both knees, and basically stomp like you would a front five and right out switch. So the trick to this trick is to, it's all in the takeoff. You're going to want to lean back a little harder than you normally would on a frontside five to get that cork. And also you're going to want to throw it a little slower than the flat frontside five so you don't over-rotate. All right, so that's basically it for the frontside cork five. Once you got your front fives, front threes, all that stuff dialed, take it, lean off the jump, get corked, land it, and that's basically the first step to getting your double corks, which I know you kids want to learn. So learn your single corks, and then you'll be chucking double corks in no time.
Hey, my name is Charles Reed. We're at Winter Park, Colorado, and I'm going to show you how to do a frontside 720. Basically, for your approach, you're coming flat base. I'll say maybe around 20 feet before the takeoff, you do a little bit of toe edging. Then as soon as you get to the takeoff, you go heel edge. When you get to the top of the jump, be really, really patient and try to pop off your tail like this. Try to pop it like from there to there. Because if you try to go too quick or too fast, you're gonna either dig in the takeoff or lose all your speed and you're gonna knuckle, or yeah, it's not gonna be good. No scraping on the takeoff, and yeah, just pop as hard as you can. So once you took off, like once you're on the takeoff, when you took off, you dip your shoulder, you do first 180, then you grab your board, you hold on to like 540, and if you see that you don't have enough speed, just stop for 540. So once you get to like the last rotation, you complete your 540, you can start looking down between your legs so you can spot the landing, and you can either land on your little bit on your toes so you don't slide out, or flat base, but it's a little easier on the toes, just a little bit on the toes so you can dig your toes and keep going straight. So the trick to the trick is just spotting your landing after the front 5. Look down to the snow, you know where you're at, and yeah, stomp it, a little bit of pressure on your toe edge, and that's it. You got it. So yeah, I hope you have fun learning the 720. So now you can step a little bit more and go for front 9 and front 10. It's whatever you guys feel it.
Welcome. This is Transworld's 20 Tricks. You got John Lazareski here, about to teach you guys how to do a backflip on a C-rail. A few tricks that you gotta learn or know before you get this trick is a back 50-50, and maybe take that back 50-50 on the C-rail and slip it out to learn how to balance and find that lock point. So when you come up to the C-rail at your local resort or mountain, whatever you're shredding, you want to make sure you come in with a decent speed, about the same speed as when you come into a down bar. But make sure you come in a couple inches to the right or to the left, farther away from the rail, because whatever which way the C-rail is going in, you're going to have to hop on and lean in. So stay balanced, stay centered, have a little bit of knees bent so you get a good pop. On your takeoff, right? You want to crack that ollie nice and good, and make sure you get enough air to get over the rail so you can turn your hips and your shoulders 90 degrees to square yourself up on the rail. All right, so once you get your takeoff done, you really want to land right into the middle of the rail. So you want to square up your shoulders to your hips, look straight down the rail at the very end of it. You want to lean into it and really pay attention to what's going on. If you're on your back tail, or if you're more on your front board style, on your nose, because if you make that mistake, make sure you notice what you're doing wrong, so next time you go up, you can change the mistake and do it right. When you get about here is really when you want to be changing your body for the landing. You want to make sure that you look at a couple feet from the rails where you want to land. Start turning your shoulders sideways, right? Look right down your arm. So you can turn it down, and your board will be sliding off. Your back foot should be coming off like this. You want to land nice and flat based. Boom, just like that. You want to ride away clean. A little trick is like use your arms to balance so you don't slide off on your tail or slide off on your nose going this way. And you really want to push into the rail as well as using your shoulders so you can find that nice balanced point on your snowboard. All right, so there you have it. I hope I helped you out on that backflip on a C-rail, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Hey, Forrest Bailey here. We're in Breckenridge, Colorado today, filming for the Transworld 20 Tricks. I'm going to teach you how to do a front blunt to regular on a C-rail. All right, so a couple tricks you want to learn before doing the front blunt. Just a front 50 and a front board to regular. when you're coming into this trick, average speed, just like you do a front blunt on a regular rail, but you're gonna wanna come in at a little bit of a angle opposite of the sea. So you're almost popping into the sea. You're gonna be on your toe edge, and you're gonna ride in, and you're gonna pop, and you're gonna go right to your back foot on the rail. So you really wanna slam your tail into the sea and make sure that you really pop, and you're probably not gonna get on till, you know, a little bit after it's curved. That way you can stay on the inside a little better. You're really just gonna slam your tail right on there, and you're gonna wanna bend your knees a lot because you're gonna need to keep your nose above the rail. Try to stay on your back foot. Have your shoulders facing down the mountain. This arm will usually come out over here, all right? And this rail, pretty much with the sea, it's just gonna almost force you to come out to fakie, but you're not gonna wanna do that. You're gonna wanna keep your shoulders straight and try to pull it back to regular at the end. Pretty much your shoulders are gonna stay straight this whole trick. So at the end, you're still gonna be tweaked to the side, and you're pretty much just gonna wanna unravel your shoulders and ride away regular and try to bring it back to regular. So you're gonna come off on your back foot as well. So sometimes it's fun to just pop a little ollie off and try to just land flat base, and you'll get it. The secret to this trick is putting all your pressure and weight on your back foot, and then you're gonna wanna power through the sea. So you're gonna stay on your back foot and just keep pushing, and you'll feel the rail under your back foot. So you'll know that you're on. All right, this was Forrest Bailey. I hope you learned a front blunt on a sea rail. Have a great day.
What's up guys, Scott Stevens here, Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm gonna teach you the back nose blunt butter. In the urban street environment, you're not really gonna find a perfect slope. So in this case, we added some snow to the stairs and we got ourselves a nice little pitch to get speed into it. Okay, so yeah, flat base approach, bent knees, just real loose. That's the best way to go into this thing because, you know, we're not working with a large amount of snow here. We're working with about a ½ inch. Flat base on in. I start transfer to my toe edge, turn the backside. I ollie into a front board style posture. Nose up, I kind of dive this in, all on your front foot. Okay, for this part of the maneuver, you're gonna be on your nose. We're about halfway across and you're really gonna be struggling to find that balance point. You're gonna have a lot of things telling you to turn 180 or to let the press down, but try to overcome that. While I'm right here, pretty much midway through the trick, I'm squared up, I'm looking past my shoulder, I kind of have my whole body open, and I'm looking to the landing. The balance point in this portion of the maneuver is key because you're gonna wanna pop out over the stair gap. Pressure on your front foot, extend the front foot, and nollie. Shoulders, head, everything turns right into the landing ramp to fakie. One little trick to this trick is you need to kind of have a little torsional flex with your board because if you have too stiff of a board, you're probably just gonna catch your edge. My board, torsionally soft, and I'm able to kind of twist the board so the back edge of my nose is popped up so it can slide smoothly. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope this trick tip helped you with the back nose blunt butter, and the possibilities are really endless. I do mean that, and I'll see you out there.
Hey, this is Will Levine. We're here in Winter Park, Colorado for the Transworld 20 tricks. I'm going to show you how to front 180 to switch 50-50 on a kink rail. Alright, so the approach. You basically go as if you would do a board slide. Don't go too wide. You can do a little turn, tiny turn, not too big because it might throw you on the kink and make your nose bunk. You don't want that to happen. So you pop, pre-spin your shoulders, and then once you feel that the nose is over the rail, you spin the board and land on the rail. Make sure your shoulders are parallel with the rail, so you land really 50-50. It's easier if you land on top of the rail, because if you go too far, you're gonna land in the kink, so don't go too fast. Start slow, and then you'll see how it feels. And the higher you land on the rail in the kink, the easier it's gonna be to absorb the flat, so you won't slip out. So you wanna land straight on the rail, not crooked, because it's gonna make you crash pretty bad. You land straight, 50-50, and then you absorb the kink. You bend your knees, keeping your shoulders parallel with the rail, so you stay 50-50. And you keep on going, parallel, straight. You look at the end of the rail. So once you made it through the flat, the rest is really simple. Well, pretty much the whole thing is done. So you absorb the last part, you bend your knees a little, and then you ride the rest, keeping your shoulders straight. So when you get to the end of the kink, just pop off in the end. Just don't let yourself go, just give it a little pop so it looks strong. The trick to the trick is the pop. Especially on if the kink is small and quick, you really have to focus on the pop to make sure you don't bonk your nose. So just make sure you pop high enough, not going too fast so you don't land in the kink. Pop high enough, pre-spin the shoulder, and when you feel your nose is over the rail, spin it, land straight on the rail. As high as you can is the best, so you can absorb the kink, the flat. And then keep your weight straight, centered, then right away, and then you stoke. So this was the front 180 switch 50-50 on a kink rail. Hope I helped you out. And from there you can learn other tricks. You can 180 off, you can do 2 switch front board on the down part, or be creative, 360 out, or whatever you want to do, just use your imagination.
Hey, what's up? This is Louis Paradis. We're here at Winter Park, Colorado with Transworld for the 20 tricks. And today I'm going to teach you how to do frontside lip slide on a kink rail. So for the frontside lip slide, you want to pretty much take the same approach as you would for frontside 50-50. I would say same speed. You don't want to go too fast, you don't want to go too slow, because you definitely want to have your tail to go over the rail, but you don't want to go already to the flat of the kink. I suggest you take a very similar pop or ollie as you would for a frontside 50-50. So a little bit on your toes, not too much, not flat base, just a little bit on the toes. Make sure you ollie right, and you want your tail to go over the rail, and then you start spinning. So it's not a continuous spin. You want to do your shifty late, so you don't do something like that, or like that. You make sure you're over the rail, and then do a frontside shifty with your legs, and then try to have your shoulders facing the bottom of the rail too. So you have your whole body working with your legs, and flex your knees a little bit, and prepare for the kink. Once you're at the kink, just concentrate on trying to keep your board flat on the rail. So just work with your legs more than anything, and definitely lift your weight up a little bit, but not too much, because you'll just slip out and go to your back. Keep it centered for the whole duration of the flat. And then once you're at the end of the flat, and if you're still centered, the rest should be easy. Yeah, once you get to that point and you're still centered, you're gonna want to reposition your board to make it angled for the down part again. You don't want to do it with your upper body really. You just want to keep your upper body stable, and you just want to do it with your feet really. And make sure you don't go too much forward and not too much backward, so you don't slip out or catch an edge. And yeah, basically try to keep it centered, and once you're at the end of the rail, depending on what your how your body is positioned, you can go regular, fakie. So once you make it to this point, you're pretty much good to go. All you need to do is, with your shoulders, straighten up your board if you want to go to regular, or follow the momentum and go to fakie. But in the landing, you want to land as flat base as possible and ride away clean. The trick to this trick is definitely to be able to work the flat part of the kink. And so for that, you need to just make sure your board stays flat and you don't go too much to your back edge or too much to your front edge. So lift your weight up a little bit. Don't try to jump the whole flat. Just try to reposition your legs, your feet a little bit, and make sure you stay centered the whole time, and it should work good. I hope I helped you with this trick. Once you got it dialed, maybe bring it from the park to the streets, and yeah, enjoy, have fun.
What's up, I'm Jeremy Thompson. I'm out here in Breckenridge, Colorado today with Transworld doing 20 trick tips. And I'm gonna teach you how to do the switch backside 180 on a transfer jump. First thing you really wanna do is look at the jump and assess it. And then you're gonna wanna take a few speed runs going into it. You don't wanna hit it right away because that's just not the smart thing to do. I like to really take my time and look at things and make sure you go about it the safe way. From there, you're gonna wanna do a couple straight airs over the jump, make sure you get your speed right, and make sure you're comfortable going switching to it as well. So once you got your speed all dialed in for the jump, you're gonna wanna ride into it switch, and with this trick, you don't really wanna take a big setup turn. So you're gonna keep pretty flat base and stay lightly on your toe edge, because you're not really spinning too much. It's more of a little twist of your head and your upper body, and the trick comes right around. All right, so with this jump, it's more of a transfer jump than a straight over jump. So we're gonna be taking a little bit more of an angle than you normally would with this trick. When you get to takeoff, stay pretty flat base. You don't wanna be on your edge too heavy, because then you're gonna get messed up in the air. And right around here, you're gonna wanna just give it a little pop and stay pretty centered over your board. There's not really any reason to get super in the back seat or front seat, or else it's just not gonna come around properly. So when you take off the jump, go and switch, you're gonna wanna keep your shoulders pretty steady and square over your body. There's not much movement in this trick. So basically when you come off the jump, you're gonna start turning your head a little bit over your shoulders, just like this. And I like to start grabbing pretty early and hold this trick all the way. So I'll usually start grabbing a little less than like 90 degrees, I'd say, then hold it around and just keep spotting your landing. Once you're like 90 degrees, you should be able to see your landing coming around pretty easily. And just keep your composure, and the trick's just gonna come right to your feet if you're square over your board the whole time. So when you're coming down in the peak of your air, you're gonna start getting ready to land, letting go of your grab. Once you let go of your grab, you're just gonna open up, follow through with your head, keep your head on the landing, and put the landing gear down, get ready to go, and land flat base is what I like to do, and just ride away super clean. The trick to this trick is to really trust your takeoff, and to do that, you gotta have good edge control and almost a pretty flat base going off the jump. So once you get that dialed in and your pop and you trust the trick, you're gonna have a good time. I hope you have fun learning this trick. It's really fun to do. Once you get it dialed in, it'll open up doors to switch backside 3s, 5s, and even 7s. and really get you more comfortable just jumping in general. So go out, have a good time with it, and make sure you do it with style.
Hey, what's up guys? You're here with Eric Willett. We're here at my home mountain of Breckenridge, Colorado, doing Transworld 20 tricks. I'm going to teach you to switch backside 540 over a transfer jump. All right, so the approach for this trick, the switchback 5, it's a little bit awkward because you're going into it switch, so you definitely want to be a comfortable riding switch for sure going into the jump. I hit it regular first, just so I can get the speed dialed in. Right when I'm going into it, I take just a slight heel side turn to get a setup for it. And then that's pretty much right before the transition of the jump, and then I transition into a toe side turn. And you don't want to edge too hard going up the jump because you don't want to drift very much. So when you're going off the lip, you definitely don't want to slide too early. You don't want to pre-spin because then you tend to hook your heels and that turns into a really bad trick. You really want to focus on that pop and just wait till the last second to initiate that spin. And just pop it off the tail of your board. So when you take off, you want to use your shoulders more to take off of the jump instead of that carve. Just because if you keep your shoulders going, the rest of your body will follow. So it's kind of keeping your head down, but your shoulders turned into the spin. If you break it down, you're doing a switchback going into a front 3, and if you do a front 3, you're seeing your landing for that whole first part of the trick. And the same thing with a switchback 5, you'll see your whole landing on from the 360 all the way to like the 450, so you can tell what you're gonna have to do. And the landing's just right there. The next tricky part is you gotta come around blind to the landing, you know? But it's pretty easy. You just have to spot the landing when you're coming around at 450, and then let go of that grab and just tweak it around so you'll land on your toes. When you're in the air, if you're going too short or going too big, you kind of are holding that grab the whole time. And so when you're spotting the landing, you can either tell if you're gonna knuckle, if you're gonna hit the sweet spot or go too far. So that's one cool thing, is if you can stall it out and kind of hold that grab, you can realize that if you're gonna knuckle, you have to let go and just pull it around as quick as you can. Or if you're going too big, you can hold onto that grab a little more and push it for all you got, so you can just come around and still land on your toes. Really just focus on keeping your whole body just like over your toes, so that when you come down on your landing, you'll just stomp your landing and right on your toes. You'll bend your knees and ride away on the landing instead of slipping out on your heels. The trick to the trick is to not be on your toes too much, because then you tend to carve. So it's more bending at your knees and standing up straight and using your shoulders to turn. That's one thing that's kind of awkward about taking off the jump switch, is you tend to bend at your hips and not at your knees. So you need to make sure that you're standing up with your shoulders straight and with your knees bent, and that helps with not carving off the jump. All right, so that right there was the switch backside 540. It's a good trick to have in your bag of tricks. Take off switch, land regular, good for contests, good for style, not too big of a trick, so it's good for photos. And yeah, go teach your friends and go learn how to do switchback 5 and be stoked.
Hey, I'm Marco Grills. We're here at Winter Park, Colorado, and I'm about to show you how to do a switch frontside rodeo 5. So basically what you want to do is like have the same speed, I would say, as on a cab 5. When you're coming in switch, you kind of put it on your heel edge before the jump. And then going up the takeoff, you need to put your toes in. Coming out of the takeoff, it's really important, like once your board is on your toe edge, that you don't start too early so you don't catch your edge in the takeoff, because it's gonna send you flying like head first. So you really want to wait till your board is out of the takeoff and then like pop off your nose and start the rotation once you're really out of the jump. You know, that's probably the most important thing about the whole trick, is that you get it right at the takeoff. Once you get the takeoff right, like the next part of the trick is probably the most fun one. You need to start the rotation really slow, because it's like just a 5 and a really slow trick. So you need to, like coming off your toes, you just need to turn your shoulders and look up. You basically bring your back hands like kind of upwards for the grab. And once you get that move right, like you just hold the grab and relax, like it's gonna bring you back to your feet. The beauty of this trick and why it's so fun is because like halfway through you're gonna spot your landing, so you can, you know, like you can kind of control it if you're going too fast or if your rotation is too slow. You can just open up or speed it up, so you basically have half of the trick to spot your landing and just land. It's maybe best if you land on your toes, yeah, but you can just, you know, like just like a straight air, you can do whatever you want because you have all the time in the world to do it. I think the trick is just to relax, you know. It's like, it's really easy. Like once you're gonna do it, it's gonna be the most fun, easy trick you can do. Well, I hope you have fun learning the trick. Don't send it too hard from the beginning. Like take it slow, take your time, and once you got it, you're gonna have a blast. And yeah, I'll see you later.
Hey, what's going on? This is Bodie Merrill here at Winter Park, Colorado, and we're doing the Transworld 20 Tricks video. And today I'm going to teach you how to do a backside rodeo. All right, before you want to start the backside rodeo, you want to be pretty comfortable going upside down, just back flips, front flips, off little jumps or whatever. You just want to make sure you're comfortable flipping in the air. And then you also want to know how to do backside 180s and backside 540s pretty good. And then you just put them together. You want to come in pretty much perfectly straight towards the center of the jump. And you want to be pretty much flat base, but slightly on your toe edge, just so when you go off the lip, you want to be on your toes, you know? So you can, when you pop, it's going to initiate the backside rotation in the flip. And then, yeah, and a good thing to remember when you're going in is you're gonna pop really hard on this trick and going straight, so you don't wanna go nearly as fast as you would if you were spinning. If you're spinning, you're scrubbing your speed on the takeoff, like slipping off. So yeah, start maybe 10 feet lower and send it. All right, so when you're going off the lip, you're almost flat base, but kind of just right on your toes and the slightest little toe edge arc. And when you're popping, you want to look back a little bit back behind your right shoulder and not open your chest up. So you just want to pop kind of straight up. And when you're doing that, you want to lift your legs up to your chest a little bit and grab melon. I think that's the easiest grab. And then it'll just throw you into that flip, into that right rotation. And then when you're upside down completely, then you'll kind of know where you are at in the air. And when you're coming around after you do the half flip, you're gonna be able to spot your landing for the rest of the trick. You know, if you tweak your grab a little bit, if you grab it and like kind of tweak your melon a little bit, it might slow your rotation down if you're spinning a little fast. Or if you're just spinning too fast, you want to open up and slow it down so you don't land on your head. And when you've done the flip and you're parallel, your front side is parallel with the ground, that's when you kind of want to let go of your grab and you'll be spotting your landing the whole way around. And if you've taken off right and initiated that little backside spin in your flip, then when you're there, you're gonna come around back 180 and be looking right at your landing. So at that point, you just kind of, the landing's there and you just put it down. And a little trick that helps me is try to land a little bit on my toe edge, because when you're coming around and if you land on your heels, you'll just land and revert around, and that's no fun. So yeah, if you land on your toe edge and kind of ride out, it'll pop you up to your flat base and ride away straight. Well, I guess the trick to this trick is all in the takeoff. You don't want to huck it too hard, because on a big jump like this, you'll just over-rotate and land on your head. So you just want to pop off the lip and in a slow rotation. All right, yeah, hope what I said helped you with the backside rodeo. It's a super fun trick, and
It's a really good way to learn how to get upside down. It's once you get over the fear of actually flipping, it's not that hard of a trick, and it's really fun on all types of jumps. You know, big jumps, really small jumps are fun to huck them around, and the good thing on a big jump is you spin slow, so if you chuck it a little bit harder on a big jump, it'll just send you into that double back rodeo. So maybe you can learn that next.
Hi, I'm Jack Matrani. We're here at Transworld 20 Tricks in Breckenridge, Colorado. I'm going to try and help you learn a backside alley-oop, which is one of the easiest tricks on the snowboard and a must-have in your bag. So get to it, let's get started. Strap your snowboard on, bring this DVD with you, and let's get on with it. Come on! Alrighty, so for the approach, what you're gonna wanna do is carry a bunch of speed, and you're gonna wanna pop about right here on the uphill and then land in the pipe. You're basically doing an air into the pipe to help you build some speed. You wanna pop in, land on your toes, set your line so you're ready for your next hit. All right, so the takeoff, pretty much the make it or break it moment. What you're gonna wanna do is as soon as you drop in, you stay on your toes the entire time. The same thing as the frontside air. You're staying perpendicular to the half pipe wall, and then you're just waiting. You pretty much stay as subtle as possible, your knees bent. Let your tail take off, and as soon as your tail takes off, you can already be looking up the pipe. So you take off, you're looking up the pipe, you can see the lip the whole time. Once you start going up, you'll feel comfortable, start rotating your shoulders to the right. And I like to grab nose. I mean, once you're about 2 or 3 feet out, grab your nose and kind of just, you know, tweak it, look down the pipe. Pretty much when you're holding on to the grab, it's hard to spin as fast, and when you let go, you can spin out of it and land way faster. So if you're comfortable, if you have your grab on lock and you kind of know how much you need to spin, I mean, it's only a 180, it's a mellow spin. You're gonna know when you need to let go. So the best part about this trick is you can spot the landing the entire time. I mean, when you're at like the top of your trick, you can look down, you can see the lip, then you kind of have an idea of how much you need to rotate or under rotate and spot your landing. Come back, lean back into the pipe, get back into that perpendicular stance, land on your heels, bend your knees, frickin' get to the next hit. So a good trick to this trick, and one of the best tricks to this trick, is to keep the same line as you would as a frontside air. A lot of people go too straight up and down the wall and land flat. A lot of people pop too hard and land flat. So just take the exact same line as you would on a frontside air, let your board do the work for you, and just let it ride. All right. That's it. Hopefully I made sense there. I know sometimes tricks are hard to explain, but hopefully that helped you guys out. Hopefully you're out there right now not watching me. You're out there trying this, or you have it like on your iPod or something and you're just listening to me right now as a confidence booster, because I know you got this. You can do this. It's so easy. Do it.
All right guys, what's going on? This is Luke Matrani. We're here in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I am gonna teach you how to do a frontside 720. All right, the first step is gonna be the approach. And with the approach, you pretty much always wanna be on your toe edge. And when you get right here, you wanna be about 8 inches from the pipe, and you want to pop and land right there, and make sure your angle is going downhill so you can get some speed. Just stay nice and light on your toe side edge, and then we'll talk about the takeoff. You definitely don't want to be going too straight up the wall, and you don't want to be going too far down. You just want to find that perfect spot. So maybe practice some straight airs first. So stay nice and light on your toe side edge. Wind up your arms, not too much. You're not doing a 1080, just a 7. And the main thing is just waiting. You want to wait until you're right at the top of the lip, because if you pop too early, you're going to land on the deck. All right, so we're still on our toes all the way up here. And once you finally get to the top, you want to make sure your arms are still behind you. Right when you get to the top, just pop off. I like to grab Indy, then stay centered, chase your tail around until you're about to 540, and then it's time to spot the landing. All right, so when I get to 540, I normally like to let go of my grab, not necessarily open up, but what you want to do is dip your back shoulder so you actually can land and be with the half pipe. If you don't do that, you're gonna catch your back edge. So make sure you dip your shoulder. And the biggest part is landing at the correct angle. And the best way to think about it is if you land and just picture how your angle should be for the next wall. All right, so the trick to the trick is keeping your shoulders in line with your snowboard. And what I mean by that is you don't want to spin your snowboard faster than you're spinning your shoulders, right? Because then you're gonna look like a gymnast. So just stay center. Well, once you got the front sev, when you're at that point, I mean, that's kind of spinning a lot, right? So what you want to do is make sure you got the stees in there, get an Indy, poke it out. Once you got your style down, then go to the 9. Don't get a whack 7 and then do a whacker 9, Get a good smooth front 7, and then you can just keep working your way up from there. Spinning is endless, so front 7 is definitely a good step. All right, so that was the front side 7, and I hope I helped you guys out, Do it in front of some chicks. I don't know what you gotta do. Maybe you're a chick, do it in front of some dudes. Have fun with it.
Hey, what's up? This is Dan Breezy. We're here in Salt Lake City. I'm gonna show you how to do a gap to board slide on this amazing feature right here. Before you come to an urban feature and try to do gap to board slide, you should find a nice down flat down box or down flat down rail and get comfortable with it in the park. And then once you have it in the park, you can find an urban feature and take it to the streets. The drop-in for street features can be, there's so many different things you can do. This spot's really rad. Put a picnic table up against the wall and saved a lot of shovel times. Gave you a chance to ride out of the woods, do a little ollie and ride a picnic table to really get going in order to gap to this rail. You just gotta be really respectful when you come to spots like this and clean up when you're done and leave it nicer than it was when you got there, just so we can keep doing what we do and having fun. Your speed is something that you need to take really seriously, because if you come up short, you will get hurt on this gap rail. So take a couple times, speed check it, ask your buddies, see what they think. Get comfortable, make sure you're stoked, and when you're riding in, you feel comfortable about getting the trick. All right, so as you can see in the approach here, when you're coming to the gap rail, you can't really see where the rail is at all. It's it's out there, but you have no idea where it is. So I like to take my board and just put a little line when I'm standing here, the exact angle I want to fly off the jump at. So then I know exactly what angle to take it to get to the down. So as you're coming on the approach, you got your line in the jump and you're kind of feeling your edges out. You don't want to be just sliding around at this point. You want to be on your edge so you're in control. So when you follow that line off the jump, you're going to be comfortable in the air. This part right here is the most important part in order to get up in the air comfortable and hit that line perfect. So when you come down on that rail, you're ready to go. So in the ollie takeoff area right here, you followed your line, you can see the rail now. This is where you can gauge your pop. Sometimes if you're coming in fast, you just let it go. But if you see you're short and you know you're going to the rail, that's when you give it everything you got, get up as high as you can, so you come over the top of that rail. So when you're on your heel edge, on the jump, you want to kind of open your shoulders up just a little bit. You don't need to give it much because you're not spinning a bunch. You just kind of open them up and look downhill, give it pop. It's kind of a fluent motion where you're off the jump and you're just going for it. And when you get up in the air, you just keep it calm, stay together, and you're waiting. You're watching the rail. You're going to see exactly where you're going to land when you're in the air. So the point when you're landing on the rail, that's the most crucial part of this trick. You want to just go with it. You don't want to try to lift up your edge or you will slip straight out on your back and get destroyed on this thing. You just want to think of it like ice, actually. If you are on ice, if you hit the brake, you just start sliding. Whereas this right here, you just go with it and you kind of bring your arms around, and you're just gonna meet this thing and just boom, right to the end of it. You want to kind of land between, I mean, you know, you don't want to get up in here, but like a foot down to the middle bar, anywhere in there, I'll take that. Like, if you start landing way down here, like the last post, maybe a little questionable, but it's still pretty sick in my opinion. But stay confident and just go for it. So when you're on the rail, your shoulders will kind of decide which way you're coming out, regular, goofy. And don't be threatened by this donkey. You're just gonna blast right through it. Don't be scared of it though, and lean back either. You just wanna take it like it's just more of the down bar, and come off this thing. And when you come off, just remember that you're in the street, it's gonna be flat and it's gonna be probably a little harder. Whereas when you're on the mountain, they've got a little slope, so just be prepared. The trick to this trick, I feel like, is putting a nice line in the jump, so you know what angle to take off the jump to hit the rail perfectly. On gapped boards, take your time. This is a fun, basic trick that can be learned without injury. So, you know, safety first, and stay with your buddies, have fun, and keep riding.
Now I want you to just, almost it's like you got shot in the neck with a tranquilizer gun. You're gonna land and just crumble and just not even move your body at all and just ride out straight to the lodge and call it some days.
Welcome. This is Transworld's 20 Tricks at beautiful Breckenridge, Colorado. And it's spring break, as you couldn't tell about what I'm wearing here. But I'm taking,
Yeah, when I find that I don't know where to go with the trick, I just lock my toes up, you know, fall down. I don't know what that, we'll cut on that.